Ciao ragazzi, buongiorno, buon pomeriggio, buonasera, and welcome, benvenuti to the second part of our lesson on direct object pronouns. As you can probably already tell, this topic has some complexity to it, but I hope that my decision to do an introduction exclusively in English will help you with this second part. So, there you have the title. It's just the second part of the direct object pronouns lesson, pronomi di oggetto diretto. And I'm just going to start by reminding you of what we did last class with this sentence: the boy eats the apple. So we were basically dividing these types of sentences in three elements: subject, verb, and direct object, right? And the subject here is, of course, the boy, right? Why is he the subject? Because the boy would be the answer to who eats, right? You ask who or what X is, you replace that X with the verb that is actually being used in this sentence, and the answer you get is the subject. So who eats? The boy. That's our subject. Eats is, of course, our verb. And what about the apple? Well, you guys already know that it's our direct object. Why is it the direct object? Because it is the answer to the question who or what, in this case, what is eaten, right? Okay, this is what we did last class. And now we're finally ready to switch to Italian. I'm going to do exactly the same sentence, but in Italian. Il bambino mangia la mela, right? So, chi è il soggetto di questa frase? Who's the subject of this sentence? We have to ask exactly the same question. Who does the action, right? Chi mangia? Who eats? Right? It's not the apple that is eating, it's il bambino, it's the child, right? The boy. So, il bambino è il nostro soggetto, right? Un soggetto, per trovare il soggetto si domanda chi o cosa fa X, right? In order to find the subject, you just ask the same question: who or what does X, right? In this case, the question would be chi mangia, who eats. The answer is il bambino, so that is our subject. Mangia is, of course, our verbo, and now la mela, as we know, is our direct object, or in Italian oggetto diretto. And this is because it is the answer to the question who or what is X, or in Italian chi o cosa è ixato. Chi o cosa è mangiato? Cosa è mangiato? What is eaten in this sentence? La mela mangiata. It is the apple that is eaten, right? So, la mela è il nostro oggetto diretto. The apple is our direct object. That's the same thing we did last class. I just switched to Italian, right? Okay. Let's keep on doing the same thing, but now I'm going to use the same 5 sentences we used last class, but now they're in Italian, okay? What are we going to do? The same exercise. We're going to identify subjects by asking who or what X is, and direct objects by asking who or what is X. First sentence. Il professore insegna italiano. Who teaches? Chi insegna? Il professore. The professor teaches. And what is taught? Cosa è insegnato? L'italiano, right? So italiano is our direct object. By now you have probably wised up and realized that in all these examples that I'm giving you, the subject is before the verb and the direct object comes after, right? I did not give you that as a general rule, even though it happens almost all the time, because there are sentences in which that is not the case, right? I wanted to give you a more powerful rule that would apply for all cases. But yes, in most cases, subject is before the verb and direct object comes afterwards. Right? Second sentence, gli studenti odiano il professore. The students hate the professor. Who's doing the hating? The students, of course. So they are the subject. Who's being hated? The professor, of course. So il professore is the direct object, right? The students hate the professor. I'm moving a little quickly here because, I think that the previous lesson prepared us for this. Gli studenti odiano la lezione. The students hate the lesson. I know that is the case, even though I hope it is not. But let's look at the grammar. Gli studenti would be our subject again. They are the ones doing the hating. La lezione is the sad object of the hate. The lesson is being hated, right? Now on to the optimistic sentences. Gli studenti amano l'italiano. Hmm? Who's the subject here? Who's doing the loving? Gli studenti. And then what is being loved? L'italiano. So gli studenti is our subject. L'italiano is our object. Last example. We got a little romantic here, but I like this example because in English, if you recall, we had to say the male student and the female student. Here we just used the different forms of the word that we have, and it's very clear the gender of the two participants, right? So, lo studente ama la studentessa. Who is doing the loving? Who is the subject that does the action of loving? Lo studente. He's our soggetto. E chi è il nostro oggetto diretto? La studentessa. She's the one being loved, right? Soggetto e oggetto diretto. Subject and direct object. And again, I will remind you that nouns can be exchanged with pronouns. We did this in English last time. Now let's look at the Italian. These are the sentences I gave you. These are the same sentences with the direct object replaced by a pronoun. Let's look at the first example. Il professore insegna italiano. We said that italiano is a direct object here because that's the thing being taught, right? The way I replace it is I use a little word that is called the direct object pronoun. Il professore lo insegna. Gli studenti odiano il professore, gli studenti lo odiano. That lo is replacing il professore. Gli studenti odiano la lezione, gli studenti la odiano. That la is replacing la lezione. Gli studenti amano l'italiano, gli studenti lo amano. Again, that lo is replacing the whole l'italiano thing. We are replacing the direct object with a tiny word called the direct object pronoun, right? And then for the last sentence, lo studente ama la studentessa, we replace la studentessa with la, and we say lo studente la ama. So those words in red are the direct object pronouns, the words we use to replace nouns that play the role of direct objects. I'll have you notice the position of the direct object pronoun in the sentences in the second column. It goes before the verb. I emphasize this because this is different from English. In English, you would say, the professor teaches Italian, the professor teaches it, right? The it goes after teaches. In Italian, it is the other way around. Il professore lo insegna. The lo comes before insegna, right? As a general rule, when you replace a direct object with the corresponding pronoun, in Italian, the pronoun always comes before the verb. The pronoun before the verb. Okay? So, let's move on to actually seeing how this works. I'm going to show you, as always, a little table. You will notice that this table has two columns. In the first column, we have the pronouns we had already learned, right? I pronomi personali, the personal pronouns. Io, tu, lui, lei, noi, voi, loro, right? And then, for each of those, we have a corresponding direct object pronoun. Those are the ones in the second column. Mi, ti, lo, la, ci, vi, li, le. Okay? But how does this actually work? Well, I've tried to come up with a little lesson to show you how it works. Let's start with an image. This is a kid eating an apple. How do you say the boy or the kid, a male kid clearly, eats the apple? Il bambino mangia la mela. Il bambino mangia la mela. Okay? which is the direct object of our little sentence. Il bambino mangia la mela. Is it il bambino? No, he's not being eaten. It's the other thing, la mela. So I'm going to underline the direct object. Okay. Now, la mela. What gender is that? We have two clues here that tell us the gender of la mela. The first is the A ending of the word. But we know by now that that is not true in 100% of the cases, but we also have the definite article la, which I hope you remember, is the feminine singular article. So this means that la mela is one feminine thing. Now look at the table. There is a row that says feminine singular, right? It's right here. That means that this is the pronoun we would use to replace la mela. Right? We use this pronoun to replace both feminine people that are direct objects of actions and feminine words. Right? Remember, in Italian, all words have gender. So the pronoun we need to use to replace la mela is la. Where do we put it? Remember where we put it? Before the verb. So the sentence rewritten with the correct direct object pronoun goes like this: Il bambino la mangia. Okay? Another example. Let's look at this image. This is a guy in a kitchen with a chicken begging for its life, right? Probably the chicken is going to be cooked. Okay? I'm going to be negative here. I'm going to say that the chicken is not going to have success in its pleas. It's going to be cooked nonetheless. How do you say the man cooks the chicken? L'uomo cucina il pollo. L'uomo cucina il pollo. Which is the direct object? It's obviously not the man. He's not the one who's going to be cooked. It's the chicken. So I underline my direct object. Il pollo. What is the gender of il pollo? Masculine. The il tells us that it's masculine, and also the o ending. How many chickens are being cooked? Just one, right? He barely fits in the pan as it is. So one masculine thing. Where is the row in my little table that I use for one masculine thing? It's right here. It says masculine singular. Lo is the pronoun I need. Where do I put the pronoun? Before the verb. I rewrite the sentence with the pronoun before the verb. L'uomo lo cucina. Okay? That is what we do. We identify the direct object, then we look at the table and we decide which of the pronouns corresponds to that object. And we change the direct object, we just get rid of it and we replace it with the pronoun. But we put the pronoun before the verb, not after. The position changes, okay? More examples. This is a girl eating candy. How do we say that? The girl eats the candy. La bambina mangia le caramelle. Okay? What is the direct object? Clearly it's the candy, le caramelle. Now, what gender is le caramelle? We have an E ending and we also have a le. Remember what that le is? That le is the definite article for feminine plural. It's the definite article for more than one female thing. Where is the feminine plural in our table? It's the last row, le. So we need to replace le caramelle with a le, but we need to put the le before the verb. The answer is la bambina le mangia. Va bene? I hope that this is becoming clear, right? Again, what do you do? First, you identify which is the direct object. Then you look at the table, you decide which of the pronouns corresponds to that direct object, and you use that one to replace the direct object, but you put it before the verb, not after. Another example, we have a woman cooking spaghetti. How do we say the woman cooks spaghetti? La donna cucina gli spaghetti, right? Why is it direct object? Clearly the thing being cooked is spaghetti here, so gli spaghetti, that's our direct object. Now spaghetti, remember that is a plural, right? Uno spaghetto, one spaghetto is just one of the little noodles. Spaghetti is the plural, and they're masculine, right? Where's masculine plural? It's li, right? That's the pronoun we need. We put it before the verb. La donna li cucina. What does that mean, by the way? It means the woman cooks them, right? We just replaced the spaghetti with the correct pronoun, them, right? La donna li cucina. More examples. Let's get a little cute. We have a mother being kissed by a girl. The girl loves her mother. La bambina ama la mamma. La bambina ama la mamma. I didn't say madre here because this is kind of a cute image, so I just used a word that means mom, right? Mamma. La bambina ama la mamma. Who's the one being loved? Well, clearly there's mutual love here, but in the sentence, the one being loved is the mother, right? So that is our direct object. Now, how many mothers? One, right? What gender? Feminine. What is the row for one feminine thing? Right here, la. That's our pronoun. La bambina la ama. Okay? Another cute little family. Hmm? But now the mother loves the children. That's what I want to say. La mamma ama I bambini. La mamma ama I bambini. Where's our direct object? It's the children that are being loved. So I underline them. I bambini. Now, this is a group, so it's plural. What gender is it? Here is where it is useful to remember how sexist the Italian language is. I've told you this several times. When you have a group of people of mixed gender, they always become masculine, right? So it's masculine plural. Where's the masculine plural row? It's right here. That's our pronoun. We put it before the verb. We get rid of I bambini, we replace them with li, and we put the li before the verb. La mamma li ama. The mother loves them. Let's keep on talking about love. I just like the subject, right? I got rid of, I don't know, looking for images, I'm just going to use lame hearts. La madre ama te. Don't get scared by the te, that's just an alternative form of tu. Who is the direct object here? It's not la madre, she's doing the loving. Who's being loved? Well, you are. How lucky you are. That is our direct object. Te is the direct object. Where is the row for tu? Yes, because you can also be the direct object of any action, including being loved. Where is the row for tu? Right here. So the pronoun we need is ti, but we need to put it before the verb. La madre ti ama. Okay? More love coming your way. La madre, oh, our way. Actually, la madre ama noi. The mother loves us. Okay? Who's the object, the direct object of her generous action of loving? Well, we are. Noi. Where is the row for noi? Right here. Chi is the pronoun we need, but we put it before the verb. La madre ci ama. That means the mother loves us. Even more love. Now she loves all of you guys. La madre ama voi. Where's our direct object? We know where it is by now, right? Voi is the direct object. Where is our row for voi? It's right here. So, what's the sentence? Pronoun before the verb. La madre vi ama. The mother loves you guys. Nice. But that's not true because she's my mother and no one else's, so she loves just me. La madre ama me. Right? Which is an alternative form for io. That is the direct object. I am loved. Where is the row for io? It's right here. It's the first one. So me is the pronoun I need. La madre mi ama. Okay? What do we need to do again? We take the sentence, we identify the direct object, we look at the little table here, and we decide what pronoun we need to use to replace it. And we simply replace it with the pronoun, but remembering the important rule that the pronoun goes before the verb. Okay? That is how you use direct object pronouns in Italian. For the activity, I'm going to send you in the body of the Blackboard announcement and in the email that will accompany it, 5 little sentences in Italian. Very simple sentences, just like the ones we've been using here. Sentences in which you will have a subject, a verb, and a direct object. And what you need to do with those 5 sentences is rewrite them, changing the direct object for the correct pronoun. Basically, exactly the same thing that I've been showing you how to do with these images. Okay? 5 sentences. Change the direct object for the correct direct object pronoun. Okay. I know this is I know this is a topic of some complexity. That is the reason why I decided to divide this into 2 lessons. I hope you have found that useful. I also hope that you will find useful the thought that we're very, very close to the end of the semester. Okay, so hang in there. I know that many of us are having all kinds of issues right now, but just stay strong. We're so close to the end of the semester, and actually, so many of you are close to graduation, right? Because this is your last semester. So just one more little push, and we'll be there before you know it. Okay? Grazie ragazzi, ci vediamo domani.